Okay, time for some things I like and then some things that I hate. So, things that I like today. I do love this story. I love it. So, Elizabeth Warren has been spending years saying she never called herself Native American officially for any sort of government benefit or for any reason. And she just would tell the story of how she had Native American heritage, even though she really didn't have Native American heritage. Well, yesterday it came out that she did, in fact, identify herself as a Native American for almost 2 decades. And there was a release of her registration card for the State Bar of Texas. And it says directly on her registration card, signed by Elizabeth Warren, race, American Indian. So I want, if she filled out that form by calling herself American Indian, you think maybe she did in some of her other official forms that we are no longer able to obtain? Maybe. And Warren apologized again. So this is her second apology over all of this. It's actually her third, right? She apologized a while back for having made this an issue, quasi-apologized for it. Then she apologized after her ridiculous DNA test, and now she's apologizing for a third time. She says, I can't go back, but I am sorry for furthering confusion on tribal sovereignty and tribal citizenship and harm that resulted. Well, you are involved in the Rachel Dolezalling of Native Americans, so that's probably a career ender for Elizabeth Warren. Well done, Elizabeth Warren. Ruined on the shoals of her own attempt to be part of the intersectional club. We bid a fond farewell. And as the smoke signals recede into the distance, as she rides across the plains of Oklahoma, we say goodbye to Elizabeth Warren. Okay, other things that I like today. So if you're just in the mood for some relaxation today, then pick up a bit of the Beethoven Piano Concerto No. 1, second movement. This is Vladimir Ashkenazy playing it. We just need a little bit of soothing music, don't you think? I think. So here's a little bit of that. So I could just play this for like another hour because it's fantastic, but go check it out yourself. That is Beethoven's Piano Concerto No. 1, second movement. Okay, a couple of pieces of breaking news that are just spectacular. Breaking news number 1. Oh, it's so glorious. It's so glorious. Mark Herring is the Attorney General of the state of Virginia. Yes. He's the Attorney General of the state of Virginia. Now, let's recall. Ralph Northam is in serious trouble, the governor of Virginia. Why? Well, number 1, he talked about infanticide, but no one cares about that. Second, there was a photograph in his yearbook from 1985 in which either he or one of his friends is dressed in blackface and either he or one of his friends is dressed in a Ku Klux Klan outfit. Yeah, that was bad. So then they were like, okay, let's get rid of him. Then Justin Fairfax is next in line, right? He's the lieutenant governor of the state. And it turns out that he is enmeshed now in an accusation of sexual assault. NBC News is reporting just moments ago that Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax used profane language in a private meeting Monday night while referring to his accuser, Dr. Vanessa Tyson. 2 sources tell us Fairfax said of Tyson, F that B word. Yeah, this is going to go real well for him. So who's next in line after Justin Fairfax? Like, who's next? Yesterday, I suggested that it might be Gritty, the Philadelphia Flyers mascot. It is not, in fact. It is the Attorney General of the state of Virginia, a man named Mark Herring. So he would be next in line. Also a Democrat. One problem. He released a statement today. He released a statement today, and here's what it says. I am sure we have all done things at one time or another in our lives that show poor judgment, or worse yet, have caused some level of pain to others. I have a glaring example from my past that I have thought about with deep regret in the many years since, and certainly each time I took a step forward in public service, realizing that my goals and this memory could someday collide and cause pain for people I care about. In 1980, when I was a 19-year-old undergraduate in college, some friends suggested we attend a party dressed like rappers we listened to at the time, like Curtis Blow, and perform a song. It sounds ridiculous even now writing it, but because of our ignorance and glib attitudes, and because we did not have an appreciation for the experiences and perspectives of others, we dressed up and put on wigs and brown makeup. Oh, no. So, so the Democrats and their no repentance the Democrats and their no repentance standard means that they're going to get rid of the governor, and then they're going to get rid of the lieutenant governor, and then the attorney general they're going to get rid of. So who's fourth in line? Anybody know? Like, really? Matt Walsh just tweeted out, okay, fine, I'll just be governor of Virginia. Like, woo! Ah, man. So apparently, I guess everybody in Virginia just dressed up in blackface in like the 1980s. I guess that was like just a thing everybody did. But again, that's sort of the point, right? That this was a thing that people, they were dressing up as various characters like Michael Jackson or rappers because people didn't think that that was racist at the time, because it may have been racially insensitive and ignorant, but it wasn't racist at the time. But now, because we have to judge everybody by the standards of knowledge and understanding and sensitivity we all have now, we're now going to toss out every politician from the 1980s. Well done, Democrats. So you've now knocked out your own governor, your own lieutenant governor, and now your attorney general. Well done, man. So Republicans, it turns out, don't even have to win elections anymore. All they have to do is just wait for everyone who is a Democrat who dressed up as a rapper in 1982 to come out with that news. Oh, solid stuff right there. Oh, man. That's pretty amazing. Okay, time for a thing that I hate. So I talked about this yesterday on my radio show. This is why you should subscribe, so you have access to my radio show. But if you don't, I'm going to talk about it again now. Cory Booker is just the worst. Cory Booker is a trash heap. He's just a trash heap. He overacts like Nicolas Cage and has the intellect of a turnip. Cory Booker also happens to be a discriminatory jackass when it comes to religious people. So Naomi Rao is a nominee to the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. She's of Indian heritage, and she also happens to be a Christian. She was specifically asked by Cory Booker about her views on the sinfulness of homosexual activity. This has nothing to do with her job. Okay? I view, as a religious person, homosexual activity is a sin. I also view premarital sex as a sin. I view adultery as a sin. I view breaking Sabbath for a Jew as a sin, right? As a religious person, I have a lot of feelings on sin. Does that have anything to do with my public policy? Of course not. Does it have anything to do with even who I am friends with or people I associate with? No, it has nothing to do with those things. Okay, but according to Cory Booker, if you're a religious person who believes in the concept of sin, therefore you must be forcibly expelled from any possibility of serving in the federal government. So here's Cory Booker grilling Naomi Rao on her personal views on the sinfulness of homosexuality.
Are gay relationships, in your opinion, immoral?
Senator, I'm not sure, the relevance of that to,
I think relevant your opinion. If you think African-American relationships are immoral, do you think gay relationships are immoral? Do you personally believe that gay relationships?
No, I do not.
You do not believe that?
No.
Do you believe they're a sin?
Senator, my personal views on any of these subjects are things I would put to one side, and I would faithfully follow.
So you're not willing to say here that whether you believe it is sinful for two men to be married. You're not willing to comment on that?
Senator, no.
Okay, and the answer is, of course, no. Of course, no. But Cory Booker's a bigot, and so he thinks that if she believes something is sinful, therefore she can't be a federal judge. And later, Ted Cruz said exactly that. Like, you're not allowed to do this. The Constitution forbids religious tests. And Cory Booker said, I would die to protect that woman's religious rights. Yeah, you go for it, Spartacus. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure Captain Googly Eyes Nicolas Cage, I'm sure that you would die for her rights to religious practice, even while you are condemning her views of sin. It's just gross. It's just gross. Now, the truth is, and this occurred to me last night when thinking about this, that Cory Booker is actually using his own views of sin as a substitute for Naomi Rao's. What I mean by that is that religious people believe a lot of people commit a lot of sins and that you can still have relationships with them, you can still talk with them, you don't have to embed your views of sin in public policy. Religious people believe all these things. But Democrats believe that if something is a sin, the government should forbid it. They believe that if something is a sin, if something is bad, the government should step in and stop it. So I really think that Cory Booker fully cannot comprehend how Naomi Rao could think homosexual activity is a sin and also not be interested in having the government stop homosexual activity. Because when you believe that government is God and it's God's job to punish sin, you don't understand how it is that somebody else could believe something is a sin and the government has no role at all. So Cory Booker being a religious bigot, well done, Democrats. This is your party now. So congratulations.